What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. So we made it through the work week and it's finally Saturday, some time to recharge and just rest. It was a long week, so I was actually thinking throughout the week, what do I want to talk about? What do I want to post? Because I feel like right now it's been sort of whatever I'm feeling at the moment, and I sort of want to give my YouTube channel more structure. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about more about me and where I come from and just things that I've been through, just a little bit about that. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first things first, I made some notes to help me get started because otherwise I'd be all over the place and I don't want to do that. So a little bit about me would be that I actually am a first gen. So my parents are from Mexico. My mom is from Cuernavaca and my dad is from Zacatecas. Um, I, however, was born and raised in the United States. Um, I think it's been a very interesting experience, and at the same time, it's been challenging, because being first gen, there's a lot of things that you have to go through by yourself because your parents, um, they can only do so much and provide so much guidance that the rest is sort of up to you to figure out as you go about it, right? Let's see what else. And then also, being immigrants, yes, I was born into a low income family. So there was a lot of struggles that came with that. My dad worked in agriculture most of his life, and my mom was a stay at home mom. I come from a pretty big family. I have five siblings, so four brothers and one sister, and then there's me. So for me, I am second to the youngest, and that was also, I think, challenging because just being low income and all that. So that is something that I did not know was a problem when I was younger. Like, being low income and having a big family, like there's struggles there, financially for sure. Um, Also, another thing would be just because um, none of my family had previously gone to college, that made me a late bloomer. So I did not know anything about college. I actually did not know the difference between an associate's, bachelor's, or master's degree. I didn't learn about grad school until I had transferred to a 4 year. Because in the end, I did go to college. It was just more of like later in life. But I would say that it was okay in the end. It just, everything has happened later just because it was just, you learn as you go. Nothing is really, um, there's no clear path. And I think coming from a big family, it was also just like, they can't give you the same attention as if you were like born and raised into a family with one or two um, kids. It's different, right? But at the same time, it's like, I don't think that they knew any better. I guess maybe that's the right way to say it. It was just more of like a part of the culture and a part of, how things are done, um, what else? Okay, so also, I actually had no idea what I wanted to study in college. All I knew is that I wanted more. So I did not know the big difference in terms of pay. Like, for example, if you go into the STEM field versus going something more into like liberal arts or whatever. Um, I just knew I wanted more. So I was like, okay, I need to go to college. I need to figure it out. Because once I graduated, I graduated from high school. I waited like a year or two before I started attending community college because I sort of just took some time off to like figure out what I wanted from life or like what I wanted to do. Because initially I was like, oh, I'm just going to work. That's it. I mean, I worked for a little bit and then I was like, no, hell no, I have to do something else with my life. Like this is not it. um so yeah, I started attending community college. I was an undeclared major for like the start. Also, I was in community college for 4 years. I was just taking part-time classes and I was just really trying to figure out like I don't know what I want to do. Like I don't know like the differences in like majors and like what career paths you can take. It was just very much like, okay, I just know I'm supposed to get a degree and then things will get better, right? Financially. So initially, like I didn't even know I was going to transfer, but as I got close to finishing, I was like, no, I want more. So I ended up transferring to a 4 year. That was a lot faster and a lot better. I had an amazing time where I transferred. That took me 2 years, because I had more of a plan. I was like, okay, this is going to cost me more money. Also, I had to pay for all my schooling. So, going back a little, while I was in community college, I saved up. While I was working part time, I saved up as much as I could, and I took that with me to when I transferred and made it work. So then I was also working part time while I was completing my undergrad. I ended up majoring in sociology. I think it was a great degree to major in terms of just gaining more knowledge and learning more about like our social structures and like norms and just like systems and how it works. But financially, I don't think that was, I wouldn't have done that degree if I knew better at that point. But I majored in that. After that, I already had an idea that I was going to go to grad school. I just did not know in what yet. I knew I wanted more, but at that point, like I was already a senior, I was going to graduate, and it was like the deadlines I had already missed and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take some time to figure out what I want to do, probably, see what kind of job I can find and go from there. Um, and then what happened was that I ended up getting a job as for the workforce, more like a youth services coordinator. I definitely was not happy. I did not like it. I felt overstressed, overworked, and underpaid. So that didn't last too long. Um, and it was sort of right around with COVID hit. So that was also interesting because then COVID definitely messed things up even more. But I ended up leaving that job and then I worked for a little bit with the school district. And then after that, when COVID hit, we lost our jobs. So I was unemployed for a while. Um, but very randomly and I, I wouldn't have ever expected it. I got a job as an administrative assistant for um, a cannabis company, and I think that was a very interesting experience because I basically used my undergrad degree to work in cannabis because I have, I think in total, how much years? So like two and a half, three, I think like 4 years total. I have working in cannabis, both in like manufacturing side and then the farm side. So that was a very interesting experience because that's basically what I used my degree for. But also at the same time, I think gaining that business experience was what made me pursue my master's in business administration. I saw how good I was at just administrative work for businesses. And also, I started doing research on the pay and, what it could potentially be and all that. So then I started pursuing my MBA while I was also working in cannabis. So it was very interesting and at the same time felt weird because I feel like cannabis has a stigma. At the end of the day, yeah, but it is just a product. Um, Depending on what state you live in, illegal or legal, yeah. But anyways, and then after that, I was pursuing my MBA. I ended up finding a job after I graduated, which is my current job, where I am an accounting supervisor for a private company now. Um, it's I would say it's in agriculture, but it's more of like a processing facility. Well, it is. But at the same time, it's definitely made me realize that I want my own business. Like, I enjoyed the freedom of building and creating things without when I was working in cannabis, that now since I work somewhere that's a little more structured and corporate, well, definitely structured and corporate, then now I realize I'm like, no, I want that back. My freedom has been taken away, and it's been interesting, but at the same time, it's been very insightful because now I'm like, okay, I know what I want to do. So yeah. Anyways, that's a little bit about me. I hope you guys liked this video and I hope you guys found it useful or entertaining or whatever. And yeah, it was nice talking to you guys. So we'll see what else I post, and I hope um, I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye.